I remember the off seasons of, rehabbing and working out and rehabbing and working out and being down that Orlando sun. And at the end of a workout, man, about 1 o'clock, we've been out there since 8 o'clock in the morning. End of a big workout, man, at 1 o'clock, and you just exhausted. And you sitting there like, I just want to sit down. I left it all right here. I just want to sit down. Or the end of a two, like nobody understands that. You know what I mean? I remember I had a coach once that said, you know what? And two, they say, your family would never understand what you go through. Because for one, they've never sat on a toilet that you waited in line for and it was warm because the next man just got off of it. And at first you got to think about it like, it's a weird analogy. But what we do in those locker rooms, people don't understand it. Like, think about how uncomfortable you would feel if you sat there waiting to take a dump and you went in there and the seat was warm. Like, how uncomfortable you feel. Think about that. You think about the little things, the comfort of a cold seat when you sit down on the toilet, how good that feels on your butt. But 9 guys just sat on that same toilet right before you walked in there.
You mentioned a headache, and I want to go back to what you said about that because you know what I'm going to ask you. CTE, how are you feeling?
Oh man, it's days. I have good days, I have bad days. Some days when my wife got to remind me where I left my wallet, where I left my keys. My kids, the running joke is the kids, they find daddy stuff, put it in one place, put it by the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of, that's just, it is what it is, man, but I wouldn't give it up for the world.
Scary? Is it scary?
At times, yes. I think when you're trying to find, things that you can have, or like, a minute ago, my wife told me, why'd you give me this battery? I'm like, I didn't give you no freaking battery. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we sitting having a full argument over the battery because I'm like, dude, I never gave you a battery. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, it's scary when you try to do things that you ask your kids to do, or you try to do stuff that you should be able to do. And for some reason, it's just not clicking. You know what I mean? Like, that's the scary part. You know what I mean? That's the part where you're sitting there like, where you question yourself. You know what I mean? Where you sit there and say, like, I know this has got to get better. You know what I mean? And, you go through all of the treatments and therapy. I mean, I go to treatment every day to get worked on, get my body worked on, just to be able to make it through the day. Every day. So, I mean, you ask me what I do outside, I go to treatment every morning. First thing in the morning, drop the kids off and go to and the wife and I take the kids to school, and the wife takes me to rehab. You know what I mean? And I sit there and I get all of my body worked on, moved and tugged and pulled and does this and this, and just so I can be able to make sure I make it through the rest of the day.
You're listening to Houston Sports Talk.